A tariff is essentially a tax on goods and services that are imported. The purpose of a tariff is generally to protect the product or service that is domestically produced. Here are the basics of how a tariff might work. Let's imagine that country A produces widgets, and country B produces similar widgets. Country B is able to produce their widgets for $10 each, while in country A it costs them $14 to produce their widgets. Well, in an effort to get more business, the manufacturers in country B decide to sell their widgets in country A for just $13 a widget. As you can imagine, this isn't good for the manufacturers in country A. Now they can't sell their widgets for a profit. Well, business begins to slow for the manufacturers in country A, and because business is slowing, they must let go of some of their workers. Well, the government in country A doesn't like this, so they decide to impose a tariff on all widgets that are imported into country A from country B. They are going to charge $5 per widget to all imports. Well, now the manufacturers in country A are thrilled. They can sell their widgets for, let's say, $15 a widget, and the competitors in country B can't beat their price. So that is essentially how a tariff works. Now the real question is this good or bad? Well, for the widget manufacturer in country A, it's a great thing. They were losing money before with no real way to compete, but now they're selling their widgets again for a profit, and they can hire again and their business is growing. So what about potential negatives? Well, one potential negative is retaliation by country B. Perhaps country B is upset by this widget tariff, and perhaps they put their own tariff on, let's say, chickens that are imported into their country from country A. And also, let's imagine that there's a lot of chickens that get shipped from country A to country B. Well, this could be the beginning of a trade war. And although it often takes a long time for trade wars to play out, there tends to be many losers and only a few winners in a trade war. Another consideration is the end user. You might hear an argument saying something like that country A manufacturers were taken off the hook. Instead of country A manufacturers having to innovate or cutting costs to compete with the manufacturers in country B, instead the government stepped in. So what about the end user? The people or companies that bought those widgets before used to pay just $13 per widget, thanks to the imported widgets. But now it's costing them $15 a widget, which makes their expenses higher. So are tariffs good or bad? Well, you decide, since it seems that the answer to that question depends on who you ask.